Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the town of Colmar Manor. It is June 13th at 7:10 or 7:08, and I would accept a motion for us to start our general town meeting.
I'll make a motion to begin the town meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting is now in order. For the record, Councilmember Bowden is absent but intends to be here shortly. We can now do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now if we could have a moment of silence for those shut in, those of our lost ones, and other things that people are concerned about. And if we could have another moment of silence for us to appreciate what we have in life, people, family, friends, breath, food, and all the wonderful things that we have. Let's make a moment of silence and rejoice. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's start the meeting off. Basically, I want to say congratulations to all the graduates out there. They're everywhere, every place has just been a buzz of graduations, from pre-K graduations to college graduations, and it's so wonderful to see people keep on moving on up as we go along. Council members, we have a matter of new business that needs to be included on the agenda, which is the selection of an energy service for our LED lightings from our grant. Can I get a motion to add that to the agenda?
I'll make that motion stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion as stated.
Okay, any opposition? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, ayes have it. New LED on the agenda. Okay, thank you. And Ms. Jackie Goodall will give us an overview on that when we get on that part of the agenda. So our first order of business is to actually hear about the 47th District Festival. Sounds something like really exciting. We have Delegate Diana Fennell here and former Mayor Colmar Manor. Please come up and give us a... Thank you.
Good evening, citizens,
Good evening.
Mayor, Council, Police Chief Mr. Baden. Senator Augustine is not able to be with us tonight. He had to go and do some duties for the President of the Senate. And then also Julian Ivey is not able to be here also. So I just want to make sure that I'm speaking on the behalf, and as you know, Juanica Fisher is part of B. So what I want to talk about, you should have some flyers, and I'm hoping that you all can get this and put this on your website. What this is the District 47 Fest. It's going to be in the Colmar Manor ball fields on top of the hill back here. And what we're doing is we're bringing the government to the people. And while the government is coming to the people, we're going to have a musical fest, which is here, these little flyers. We're going to have Belladonna, Luminous, Emma, Quiet Storm. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be from 10 to 5. We was going to have, 11 to 5. We was going to have it to 7 o'clock, but as you know, when that is over, is my community give back, which is my birthday party, which I want to thank Colmar Manor for allowing me to do that. The community, the Delegate Diana Fennell give back, and I love it. We've been doing this for years, and ever since I've been in office, giving back to the community, and awarded outstanding community leaders, which in the community. So we're going to have a full day. But, I also must mention that Senator Augustine is going to have a breakfast that morning. I don't know the location. So the 47 have a full day. And it's going to be Julian's Ivy's birthday on August the 3rd. So I told Julian, Delegate Ivy, I said, you're going to have the biggest birthday party ever. So, but
Yeah,
the citizen's going to have the biggest birthday party ever. But if you want the information, the District 47 Fest is going to be phenomenal. We're going to have music. We're going to have DJ Technique. This is the first that we have ever done this in the 47 District, and we're excited about it. There's no resources that need to come from Colmar Manor. We will have Maryland National Capital Park and Planning. We're asking each and every one of the municipalities to put it up, put the information up. Come on out. We're going to have different government services, from family services, from state highway administration, from the health department, from the fire department, different agency that, as you know, our citizens work. And they don't get off sometime until 6 o'clock. And the government services are closed at that time. So we want to make sure that while they're getting their services, they're having and listening to good music. Please bring your lawn chair. Please bring your umbrella. We're going to have food trucks that's going to be there. Also, bring your cooler with water, because we don't know the temperature of that day. But come and have a great time. And then come and join me at 7 o'clock here from 7 to 1. We're going to have a phenomenal time. And as you know, my Director of Constituent Service, Mr. Billy Brown, who's here. He's actually is going to be going to each of the municipalities except for Brentwood. Dorita will be going to Brentwood. Ms. Epps will be going to Brentwood to represent us at Brentwood to get this information out. So I just want to say I thank you, I appreciate you, and I love you guys, and this is home. Thank you. Is there any questions for me?
Yeah.
Ms.
Anybody
Ryan,
have any questions?
You good? Any questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, thank
and thank
you.
you. Yes, we're in Colmar Manor.
And thank you for bringing your fest to Colmar Manor.
We brought
It's
it to
very
Colmar
cool.
Manor. You're welcome, man.
Is there
Thank
going
you.
to be, is there going to be transportation for the seniors?
What we're going to do, yes, we're going to have buses as we did before in Brentwood. The senator office is working on that now in reference to, we're going to have big buses. These are big buses. That is for the 47th district in reference to getting them here. Now for the seniors here, I doubt that we will have it here because the census is up here. Now if you all, it's up to you what you want to do. If you all want to provide that services, since we're doing it, you know, as government, you can do so, okay? But we have our own buses, and they're big buses.
Okay.
Okay? And if you have any questions, please feel free to call Senator Augustine's office. His office is the point. We try to make sure that we have one point of contact. It will be his office that you will contact. Thank you.
All right, thank
All
you
right,
so
So
much.
delegate, very important, for the evening of, what's the attire? Because I know you always have a theme.
Oh! Well, mine's actually, my attire is, it's all white.
Okay.
It's all white. We're changing from the black, from the red. We're going to do something a little different this year.
Okay.
We're going to do some all white.
Want to make sure.
Oh, yeah, I kind of got that from Doretha. So, you know, we want to blame her. You want to blame her on that one, okay?
Okay.
All right. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you all here. I know you're going to have a long day. You know, hopefully you can go get a half an hour rest from the fest and then come on up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. Okay, so next item on the agenda, well, it says the proposal, but that really needs to be under new business, so
took a
that's
picture.
really weird.
Thank you.
That's gonna be,
Are you going to leave some of these here?
She had, yeah.
there's some
in the
inside of the office.
If you all can put it on your website, please do so.
Oh, okay,
And then you can also add this phone contact.
Yeah, I have it. I have one.
okay. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you seen it?
Is the point of contact on here, on this card?
I think it is.
Delegate?
No,
It's-
you can get that, it's going to be his office numbers.
Okay.
We didn't, no, it would have been.
Too much. Okay, but you want us to put that on our website?
Put it, yeah, put his office number.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Okay, so report out on the work session. Okay, they leave me a work session in here somewhere. Any of you guys had a work session agenda in your package from last week? you left in your package, maybe?
No, but we pretty much worked on the budget. That was one of the things that we did at our work session. Let's go over the budget.
Now, here it is. Okay, I got it.
I have it too.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Okay. To report out on the work session, which was Tuesday, June the 4th, which we had after our, was it a public hearing first? Yeah, with our two public hearings on the budget and also on the constant yield. We did, in the work session, we talked about the personnel manual and some changes that were archaic and we needed to correct. We talked about parking meters as a potential general conversation to see what might be something to just analyze. We spoke about our daily bazaar and what we needed to get it forward and asked Mr. Barr to start to put together certain applications for the positions for our bazaar. Hopefully we will really have our bazaar going sometime in July, and we will be looking for people who, we'll be looking for people who want to vend their arts and crafts or other goods or services, and we'll be looking for people who want to recruit vendors. You would receive a commission for recruiting the vendor. We'll be looking for people who want to actually watch this position. The bazaar would be at the parking lot next to the KFC, and next month at our work session, we'll work through the details of the applications. We're hoping to be able to employ a lot of people and also help a lot of entrepreneurs to sell their products and empower them to actually get that out on a regular basis and bring some money in for the town at the same time. So we'd like to be able to do that. We had a little bit more discussion about the budget after the hearing to see if there was any additional changes that we needed to make. Only minor conversation there. The budget that we introduced at the hearing is, we didn't change anything, did we? Nothing. Right. Okay. And then we talked about updating our trash ordinance to include some rules around recycling, which we will further discuss today. Where is it? Oh, there it is. And we talked about the Verizon franchise renewal. As many of you might know, we get funds from Verizon as well as Comcast for their using our right-of-way for their material. So from the looks on y'all's face, I just want to let you know there's basketball downstairs. And so when they hit the hoop at the top, you can hear it from up here. So that's what it is. It's not earthquake. So Mr. Barr is staying informed. Mr. Baden is on a committee that gets updates on whatever's happening there. So if something happens, apparently this has been setting for a long time. But if there's some substantial difference, we'll bring it to you and let you know. When I was talking about the bazaar, we have watchers, recruiters, marketers, and then vendors. So if you're in that category, please leave your name and number up here at the town hall in order to, we know who's interested in any of those things up until we actually get everything set up. It would be great to start collecting letters. All right, next item on the agenda is the mayor's report. It seems like it's been quite a while since we had our last report out meeting, but some things that have happened. We had a wonderful appreciation dinner where, again, we were able to appreciate people from our community who work with us in helping us have a better community. We were able to appreciate a couple of our volunteers, our volleyball volunteers that we have for the last several years that help us on anything and everything that we do. It was great to appreciate Mayor Miles from the city of Mount Rainier. Mayor Miles has been a mentor for many of all of us throughout the years and support us through initiatives and really has taken on that role. So was really happy to appreciate her. Dion from IHOP, who welcomes customers in and makes them feel really at home when they come to this IHOP. And I don't have the list in front of me, so when you guys give your reports, maybe you guys can add who I missed and who we were really able to appreciate. I want to talk about Kids in the Park. It was an awesome day. The Recreation Council worked hard in order to put the kids in the park. We have an unusual number of parks here in town, which is so exciting, and they were able to make something happen at the 3 that are inside the town limits, the Mayor's Park, Yost Park, and Newton Street Park, and gave them creative and exciting things to do, from painting to learning about the environment and learning about what it means to play in a park and how it's good for them. They just did it in a very educational way, and it was a really awesome day. I want to say that tomorrow, which is the last day of school, the Recreation Council is having frozen yogurt in the park at 4 o'clock at the Mayor's Park, so that all the kids, when they come out, get back from school, anybody, whether you're from elementary school, middle school, or high school, come on by and just chill out your last day of school as you get ready for your summer moving forward. And from other things that we've been emphasizing, I meet now every 2 weeks with code enforcement and public works to check on where we are, where we're going, if there's any new things that you see, you hear, and you want to share so that we can make sure it gets on the agenda, because we're trying to operate in a more focused way these days, on focused items and things that we're going down a straight road. So right now, code enforcement is really going to be focused on trash and recycling and how we are performing in town. If you're listening to me, lids on your trash cans is top priority. So the goal is that in a very short period of time, we no longer have open trash cans outside on trash day or recycling. The other is plastic bags in your recycle bin. It is absolutely useless to try to recycle if it's inside of a plastic bag. It's not going to get recycled. So those are going to be focuses that we're going to work on there. And so moving forward, I mean, we also I'm meeting regularly on hall rentals as well as at the administration. And so we're going to continue to meet, see where we are, what are we doing, where are we going. One exciting thing I did in this last month is working with MOST, which is municipal online stormwater management training. And we have been learning about stormwater management over the last several weeks, and they have this online course from the University of Maryland, which has been very, very useful in helping us all understand, so that then we can help you guys all understand and figure out what things you can do in your own yards with it. But we also got to meet with a lot of service providers in the last week to see who could actually come in and help us with some of our projects. And our projects being our Green Street on Newark Road. We also have an issue at the staircase at this end of Newton Street Park where the water stands, and we're looking for somebody to help us work on that. And then we also have the Port Towns Community Development Corporation came up with stormwater issues, so we have actually a document that documents other areas. So hopefully in the next short period of time, we'll be working with some of these service providers to help us with very clear, direct initiatives. And we'd also like to introduce, which the Green Team can talk about a little bit more, but the yardstick program, where you can actually do some stuff in your own yard, so that we can make Colmar Manor a stormwater clear dream for everyone else, because we can do it if we keep moving forward. And I'm so proud we had so many of my council members, my public works, residents involved in this training. We have more people in it than any other town in terms of, so we can work together and do that. Great. Thank you. All right, so that's my report, and I'll move on to the council members. You have any, Councilman Ward
Oh,
1?
yeah, just a short report. I just want to say congratulations once again to the graduates. And don't forget that Miss Cade has the Vacation Bible School coming up. Also, I want to say congratulations to Mrs. Cade. She's the new grandmother again. She just had another little grandbaby boy. And I want to ask the people that are walking their dogs, I noticed you're still not picking up behind your pets. So please try to pick up. The mayor also spoke about the bulk trash, so I'm not going to go into about the code enforcer and the compliance with the trash, the bulk trash and calling. But over the weekend, I did notice there's still a lot of bulk trash. And so I know no one has no money to throw away, so please, if you don't understand, come up and talk to the code enforcer. He explained everything. It's been in the newsletters. It's been on the bulletin boards, and we've talked about it over and over and over, the bulk trash. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Ward 2?
In my ward, we still have people putting their trash out for the whole weekend. So if you need a bulk pickup, please call Baton's at 301-773-2069 and call on Tuesdays. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Bowden. Councilmember Jackson?
Good evening. It seems like the bulk pickup is like all of our pet peeves today. I walk through the town a lot, and yes, residents are putting their bulk trash out entirely too early. We are very aware that some residents are seniors and they may have to use the time that their grandsons or granddaughters are able to help them to put the trash out. We are aware of that, but it's getting to the point that people are really putting it out. And Mayor, you talked about the code enforcer was going to focus on recycling and also about the trash lids. I would really like him to focus on the bulk pickup, because it really looks a mess.
Yes.
That I too need things to come out of my home, but I'm not going to set it out 2 and 3 days or 4 days before, or not call the bulk pickup. And when you're having someone come in your town on the weekend and you see stuff sitting out, to the eye of newcomers, it looks like that we're not trying to keep up our town, and that's not something that we want to represent in the beautiful town of Colmar Manor. One other thing I would like to say, this is not just concerning to my ward, but we talked about the bike racks, and because I walk a lot of residents want to know when we are going to get the bike racks, or when we're going to do the bike share. They're excited about it. Everybody is geared up to do exercise. So that's something that the mayor and council, we need to really push and make sure the bike racks are put up. But that's it for my ward. Keep up the good work. Some of the yards look beautiful. Your flowers and everything looks great. Keep up the good work. Thanks.
And that island is beautiful.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, the
That was on my.
You said? Oh, yeah, okay, go ahead. Ward
Good
4?
evening, everyone. Just to piggyback off mayor and council, it's also important to, if you don't have a town trash can, the proper trash can, and also the proper recycling can, definitely call up to the town hall so Public Works can get that to you. And unfortunately, I know this time around, we're not getting sprayed for mosquitoes, and as you can see, the rain is constant. So please just take the time to go around your property, any standing water, definitely dump it out, but always check, because apparently only just a little bit of water, they can just breed and more mosquitoes. So thank you, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will remind you guys all that we could get sprayed. We agreed to get sprayed, but because there's at least 2 or 3 people on every block in this town has signed an exemption sheet from being sprayed, and I got a reduction to 75 feet from the 300 from the secretary, but it's still enough people at 75 feet. If 4 people on your block sign that exemption form, then your block's not getting sprayed, period. And so they have, Mr. Kern has been successful enough to get 4 people on each of your blocks. So if you were to go to your neighbors and explain your circumstance and your situation and how come their exemptions are impacting you as a whole, we could go back to normal again, because you probably could persuade your neighbor better than we can, or help them to understand what's happening in terms of the mosquitoes. So thank you for that, Councilmember Mendoza. I will also mention, to that fact, I was told, someone told me about, it's called Spectracticide Bug Stop Home Barrier, and I made some copies that are on the table over here, where you connect this to your hose, and you spray down your trees and your yard and everything. It's DEET free. It doesn't have DEET, and I've heard that it's really, really very, very good. It's $7.98, and so if you're, dealing with that issue and you really want to get it, at least you could get something yourself to spray in your own yard until we have another solution. I also want to mention here, we tend to be a food magnet here, from different shelters to different groups to organizations. We have the Habitat for Humanities or whatever. If you know someone who is hungry and is not going to be able to eat, please call us so that we can help. We do have people give us food all the time, and being that we'd like to be able to have people eat. So I'm very grateful for that, and we just constantly get more partners in that space. So I want to thank everybody for that. I forgot to mention, we're having a tailgate on the 4th of July. 4th of July from 6 to 10 p.m. here in the ball fields. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your food. They don't allow grilling in the park, so grill if you grill at home earlier in the day and bring up what you need to bring up. If you want to, play your music or whatever. But most people don't know it, but you can see fireworks from probably 12 different areas really, really well from the ball fields. And so we look forward to, I know some of you got plans, you're going to love to go to your one place, but you have no idea how exciting it is to see the fireworks just coming from everywhere. You just turn around your head and you just see fireworks. You could hear them and everything. So even though they're not directly in that field, they're from everywhere. So I hope people come out and enjoy yourselves. I am looking for some people who want to be volunteers to help us, because it's not a staff day. So if you want to volunteer, it's nothing major to do except for us to kind of make sure the place is cleaned up when we're leaving out. Please let me know. Just call the town hall and let me know that you'd like to be able to do that. And then also from the trash perspective, I want to let you know, you can use your own trash can if you want to. You do not have to have a town trash can. I think some people are concerned about the size of the trash can, and particularly older people, it's hard to move, and they want to have a small.
And not only that, a lot of the rain wetting the trash bags when you put out your yard waste, and it rains like it did quick today, and if it was tomorrow, they pick it up. When time they come to get it, it just falls on the ground, and they don't take it.
So it's better to put it in a trash can. So if you have a trash can for your yard waste, that's better. You just put an X on the yard waste, because then it won't get messed up if it rains, because we never know if it's going to rain, and then it just winds up being all soggy, and then it won't go anywhere. I just really want us to get the trash situation, in a really good place. We did parking, and the parking permit program is moving forward. The chief could give you some updates on, her opinion and points about it and things that we might want to look out for. We're learning as we go. I tell that people all the time. Nothing's a stopgap. We're learning as we do these things, but that has been moved forward and go forward. So I'm hoping we're clean the trash up mode. Yes. Okay. And I thank all of you guys for your comments in the bulk and everything, because I think we're all on the same page with this one. All right. Thank you all for your reports. We have a treasurer's report?
Yes, we do. We have a report for May 2019, which is for the first 11 months of the current fiscal year. There are copies on the tables. There's copies available up at the front office if you're not here and would like a copy later on. Give a brief overview of the report. It does cover the first 11 months of the fiscal year. So at the end of June, we will be closing out fiscal year 2019 and moving into fiscal year 2020, which will be hopefully adopting that budget later on in the meeting today. As far as the May 2019 report goes, we had total revenues for the 11 months of $1,587,000. For expenditures under general government, we had $463,436. Payroll taxes and benefits for general government employees of $63,469. Senior van operations of $47,451. Code enforcement of $9,955. Public Works of $260,631. Community center and town hall operations of $297,369. Largest portion of that is the debt service on the loan associated with the building of $215,160. Public safety, $249,010. And community center operations of $79,168. Total expenditures are $1,473,582, which is $113,000 less than the revenue. So, we're operating in a surplus through 11 months of the fiscal year. Final 2 pages of the report have the balance sheet. Show cash on hand of $108,624. We also have $729,576 in investment accounts. Those are the highlights of the May report, and ask you to accept it as presented.
Okay. Okay. So remind me a bit about this, I know with the permeable pavers, we did it, why is it here in revenue and not expense? Did we do it before, or?
Monies wasn't received till after the 2 months at the end of the fiscal year, so the auditors did not allow you to record that as revenue. So the expenses took place in fiscal year 18, whereas the revenue is showing in fiscal year 19. So the expenditures happened, we didn't get the reimbursement till after September 1st, so they would not allow us to record that as revenue in fiscal year 18.
So it doesn't, I guess we're not accruals, but I know like in a nonprofit world, you're required to record a grant. You're required to record a grant when it's awarded.
Yeah, that's not true. Real estate taxes, you show on the modified accrual base of accounting, which means when the revenues are measurable and available, but the grants do not. The grants, are recognizable if you collect them within 60 days at the end of the fiscal year. We collected it after that, and they would not allow it to be included.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Yes, I make that motion as stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes. We approved, on April the 2nd to, get 2 little libraries. And I know that this year's ending up, so, we approved it, and we also transferred the money. I think it was on April, they had the money transferred on April the 9th. And I know if we don't purchase those little libraries before June the 30th, we're short. And we're really in need to have that little library replaced back in Ward 4 We are registered as a little library, so people come off the bike trail, people have been using it, and Councilmember Blue wanted one when you come in town, and I think that's very much needed. So I just wanted to put it on record, just that whoever needs to take care of it, we need to make sure that we have those our little libraries done before June the 30th, and there is a kit that I have emailed out. That's it.
Okay,
Can we get that done?
yes.
Yeah, well,
I'll talk to you.
All right, thanks. I also wanted to mention, since you guys said something that, well, you had something to say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was,
Okay. That the library, I mean, that's the bike racks, our bike racks, Mike said that he's putting them up next week.
Oh, great. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. Good.
So I'll just make a comment on the balance sheet. I see negative in accounts payable, so, no, something's not right in there. And question, what is deferred property taxes?
that $30-some thousand.
Yeah, $32,000.
I think it's mainly the personal property taxes that were billed and not received. I'm not quite sure. That's done through a audit adjustment by the auditors at the end of the year. I'd have to go back and look at the worksheets to tell you exactly what makes up that figure.
Okay, yeah, I would really like to know, I mean, what's happening there, because, I mean, what it makes it look like, since it's in a liability, that we lost something that we can't get back. But that's just me guessing what it might be, so good to know what it is.
I have one more question, Mayor. On the balance sheet, 2172, I've asked before that please, no name should be on this deduction. I think that shouldn't be there. It was changed in the past. I'm not sure how it got back on here, but
I agree, yeah.
it just needs to be taken off.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, name shouldn't be,
and I would like to also just add, going forward, and I'm just going to throw this out here right now, and we can talk about the details later. I know we don't do accrual-based revenue, so I understand why we don't have this, but there's a way. I know that we have tickets from the police owed to us, and we should have a way of knowing what that amount is from month to month. It could just be the total for every month, and you could reverse it, put it in a new total, reverse it, put in a new total. I'm sure the police department knows what the numbers are. If we get this recorded in our accounts receivable so we can see it, you can offset the transaction on a deferred liability of some sort so that it's not going in the revenue, but where we can still see that there's a receivable due us. And that could be the same case for business licenses. Because we can manage it when I can see, okay, we've got $9,000 of business licenses that haven't been collected yet. Where do we go and how do we get this fixed? And the same thing if
Does
we've
that go
got
through the citations
tickets.
also?
Huh?
Citations also?
That's
For the
what
code
we-
enforcer?
Code enforcement citations as well. At the end of every month, whatever
know.
that amount is, then we know it's sitting out there. And if we have an amount that's a current amount, but then we can also have a separate one that's a 90 days and over amount, then we can manage better by seeing what's there. So since we're about to start the new fiscal year, it would be great if we can start it that way. And then, other than that, okay. Thank you, Mr. Baden.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, and you will check on that negative?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks so much. All right, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4? Aye. And the mayor votes aye. Thank you. We are now accepting the treasurer's report. Next item is police report. Chief, member?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
If you have the report in front of you, we've had 7 written reports for the month of May. On May the 6th, 2019, at 1:52 p.m., Officer Williams responded to the 3700 block of Lawrence Street for an assault between family. Both parties have been advised. On May the 7th, 2019, Officer Patanga responded to the 4000 block of Lawrence Street for vandalism to auto. On May the 9th, at 5:32 p.m., Officer Williams responded to the CVS for a theft report. On May the 15th, at 6:21 p.m., Officer Williams responded to the AJ Liquors for a disorderly call. Officer Williams did ban the suspect from the establishment. On May the 20th at 2:30 a.m., PG County responded to the Burger King for an alarm call, and once on scene, they observed the front door glass shattered and ajar. Investigation revealed that the suspect gained access to the safe, but no money was stolen. On May 28th at 3 p.m., Corporal Calloway and PG County responded to the dollar cents for a robbery. And on May the 30th, PG County made apprehension of the two suspects that did the robbery. On May 31st at 9:42, Cottage City officer responded to 43rd and Newton Street for a theft of a rear tag only. On the back, this is the list of calls for service. We had a total of 60 calls. Not every call is a report call. I want to also let everyone know that National Night Out is approaching, which is August the 6th. We have not secured a location yet. Hopefully by next month, I know exactly where we're going to have National Night Out. I just want to remind everybody that it is coming, and I would like for everybody to come out and join. That is my report. I respectfully ask that you accept it.
All right, thank you, Chief. Is there a motion to accept the chief's report, police report?
I'll make that motion and state it.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes. Chief, on the back of your report, you have a missing person, one. Just wanted to know, was that person located and safe?
So it was a call that came out for it, but she wasn't missing.
Okay,
So
okay.
So the calls for service that's listed, we'll get the call, we'll go, and we'll realize that it's not what it is. If it was a missing person, it would have been a report written for it.
So all these reports that are listed on the back, are they 911 calls, or are they calling
Yes.
the 9? Could you give out the non-emergency number, just so
301,
the residents can have? Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
301-333-1200.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief,
I had a question too.
go ahead.
Mine was in reference to the animals.
Mm.
We still, on 40th Avenue, I see dogs running with no collars, no nothing.
Okay.
So how do you inform citizens that the dog is their responsibility?
Well, we need to know, one, who's the owner, because then we have to go and talk to the owners to let the owners know that there is a leash law, and that's the only way we can do it. So you will have to call the police, you will have to call the duty phone, see if someone is on duty, and we can then narrow down who the dogs belong to, and then go talk to the owner. Unless you know for a fact who the owner is,
Okay,
then we can just go and just talk to them.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, the Chief, when you said that these are 911 calls, what records do we have of more local communications, actions based on local communications?
I do not understand what you mean.
So like if somebody calls up here to our office or to the police office here and like, okay, this is a challenge.
A station
that I'm
call.
dealing with. Okay, a station call. Good
Yes.
word.
Yeah, that will be in here as well.
Okay, so this includes 911 and station
Yes,
calls?
it does.
Okay. And so, when you're doing something more like community related, I don't know whether it's knock and talk or some other things, will be reporting this here? Because it would be nice to be able to say
Yes,
these other
so-
activities like the
When there is other activities, it will be another box that we would
Okay.
list all the things that we have accomplished for the month.
Okay, so can you tell us a little more about the Explorers in the last couple of weeks?
Well, the Explore program, it's every Tuesday. It's from 6 to 8, and right now we have 6 children
Okay.
from different areas, and they're just learning different things. If you don't have it, join our Cottage City Colmar Manor Instagram page. We also have a Colmar Manor Cottage City Police Explorer page, and we list everything on the page that we've done for the day. So it's you should join. It's really nice.
Okay, good. I would like to urge anybody out here who might be listening, you have a child, you have a grandchild, what's the ages again that you said?
It's a 14 to 18.
14 to 18 to join. I'm sure it's a great way learning discipline and also learning techniques and ways to even protect yourself and all that. So I'd like to encourage y'all to be involved in that. All right, thank you so much, Chief. I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. One quick question I forgot to ask. 9 accidents, are those like real accidents? Is that odd, or
No.
is it that common? It's just,
That's common.
It's just Bladensburg Road.
It's just Bladensburg Road.
Is there a particular location on Bladensburg Road where they tend to be?
So for it to be on the Colmar Manor's report, it's mostly in the afternoons, and that's when people are traveling home.
Okay, so it's eastbound?
Yes. So in the mornings, Cottage City gets most of the accidents.
It's so congested out there, I don't know how anybody can hit anybody.
Very
I mean,
easy.
you can barely move 5 miles an hour after 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it's easy.
Wow. But is there any place on Bladensburg Road where is it close, is it by the shopping center more, or is it down by
Honestly,
43rd more?
it's all throughout. It's really from the shopping center going towards the bridge.
To the bridge? And mostly fender benders in
Yeah.
general? Interesting. Okay, thank you very much. All right, moving on, our next order of business is approval of the minutes. Everyone should have received these minutes from April 2nd, April 9th, and May 7th. April 2nd work session, April 9th general meeting, May 7th work session. You can either make a motion by individual meeting or in all together if you feel like that's appropriate.
I'll make a motion.
I'm gonna do all of them.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve April the 2nd, 2019 work session, April the 9th, 2019 town meeting, May the 7th, 2019 work session.
Is there a second?
I'll second as stated.
Okay. I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4? Aye. Okay, and,
Mayor?
I didn't get some details in the reading, but I trust you guys all, but I'll just abstain from my vote right now, and we passed. So let the record reflect that the approval's been made for town meetings, April 2nd, April 9th, and May 7th. Okay, next order of business is our personnel policy amendment. So there's a resolution, there should be a resolution in our package. Okay, to the bottom of the package. You know what this number will be?
I thought Kayla would put it on there. She's got the previous one, so I'm surprised she didn't, so we'll have to put it on afterwards.
Okay.
It was camouflage.
So as our preliminary conversation last month, this resolution, I think it might be, whatever the next number is, 2019, this is a resolution of the town of Colmar Manor for the purpose of amending the personnel policy of the town by removing certain provisions of the said policy, providing that the mayor and the town council may offer to an employee the right to resign prior to changing an employee with an adverse action by deleting Section 8, non-disciplinary separation, A, separation, resignation, 1, of the personnel policy of the town, which is Section 8, non-disciplinary separation, A, separation, resign, will be deleted. The resignation of an employee should be a voluntary action taken solely at the discretion of the employee. An employee shall not be requested or coerced to resign in lieu of the taking of any authorized disciplinary action by the appointing authority against the employee whenever such disciplinary action is warranted, provided that nothing herein shall be deemed to prevent the mayor and the town council from offering to permit an employee to resign prior to charging the employee with an adverse action. Resignations shall be in writing and shall be signed by the employee of interest. That entire paragraph's been deleted. And is there a motion for us to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion as stated.
Second,
I'll second it.
any discussion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4. Aye. And mayor votes aye. Thank you all so much. That item is taken care of. Okay, new business. Adoption of Ordinance 03-2019, which is the annual budget and levy. Mr. Payton, if you would just summarize in terms of the rates and budget.
Yeah, we've had quite a few extensive discussions on the budget, including public hearing last week. So this ordinance 03-2019 was introduced on May 14th, 2019, and is up for adoption this evening. This ordinance adopts the budget for the next fiscal year that begins July 1st, 2019, and ends on June 30th, 2020. As attachment A to that ordinance is the budget that will be adopted if it is passed. The right column of the Appendix A, or Exhibit A, are the figures for the revenue and expenditures for the budget for fiscal year 20. The last page of the Exhibit A states what the tax rates will be. So the residential real property tax rate will be at .9784 per $100 of assessed value. This is the constant yield rate for residential property. The commercial and industrial real property is at .8557 per $100 of assessed value, and the business personal property is at $1.65 per $100 of assessed value.
Okay. Is there a motion for us to accept the budget as been presented?
Yes, I'll make a motion to accept the budget.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? I'd like to ask for a friendly amendment to the motion to put $1,000 back in this budget for us to hire Colmar Manor resident or some employment to $1,000.
Right.
Will you accept that friendly amendment?
Yes.
Will the second accept the amendment?
Yes.
Can't hear you.
Yes.
Any additional discussion?
Where would the money come to cover that $1,000?
Out of reserve. Or unreserved. Okay. I'll call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4. And mayor votes aye. Thank you all so much for the amount of work and effort and energy that you guys put into this. This was not easy in terms of where we were and what we needed to do in order to make it better. But we just want to focus on bringing in additional income as much as possible. Okay, we're moving on now to the LED lighting proposal. As you may or may not know, we received a $29,000 grant from MEA, Maryland Energy Association, Agency, for replacing the lights in this building to LED lights. And I really want to thank Ms. Jackie Goodall for her eager and progressive moving forward, making this move as quickly as we possibly can so that we can actually get this done and actually start saving money in this building, because the LED lights will sell us quite a bit. So, as I have apologized before, I know that you guys have not got to see these proposals soon, but for once in term of government moving fast, it's an opposite to what we're normally used to. We want to get it done. So thank you, Ms. Goodall, for being here. If you can give us an update on these two proposals and what you know about it.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for inviting me, and hopefully we can move this with lightning speed and get really done by November. So there were 3 companies that were invited to participate under MEA Grant 2019-01-420 CP. We have some deadlines that we have to meet. June 30th is one of the deadlines where I need to prepare the proposal, submit it to Maryland Energy so that they can approve the proposal that we sent to them. Once they accept the proposal, then they will send me an acceptance, and once that acceptance is done, we can notify the vendor of your choice, and they can be able to move forward. I have asked the 2 vendors how long will it take. There's a little bit of a difference in the times, just simply because of the work that needs to be done on one or the other one. But it can be done on a weekend. If we take Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, it can be completely done. Otherwise, they can come in at 5 o'clock, either 1 or 2 days, and work till 12 o'clock and be entirely finished. So I'm going to go with the first one, which you got a proposal that should have been updated because after we went through it, there were a few changes and the amount changed a tad bit. So the first one is from NRG LED Lighting and Solar Solutions out of Ellicott City. And I'm not going to go through each line for you. I will just give you an overview of what the cost is, what the net savings. That should be found on the first page after the cover page. And so their proposal is for over a 10-year period, $93,986 in total savings. The materials, labor, trash removal, lift, permits, sales tax, less any state and local incentives, their total amount is $32,524. Which means that over a 10-year period, your net savings would be $61,461.
So can you go, because what we have doesn't say these numbers?
That's what I said. Did you get this second one?
We don't know anything about what we have.
So this one
But tell me
came
the
in.
number. Go ahead.
This one from NRG LED Lighting and Solutions, Solar Solutions, came in about 4 o'clock because there were some corrections that they needed to make. Those corrections were adding some of the oh my God, what are they called? The one you can leave out the room. Motion, yes.
lights.
So the one that you probably
Oh, no, that-
have has the number of $31,282.
Right.
Okay, that, when I went through it, I explained to him, you did not put motion detectors in each one of the offices. Because if you want to truly reduce some light usage, energy usage, you want people to not leave lights on.
Right.
And as we all know, people leave lights on, and sometimes they're left on all weekend. So he had to go back and add
Okay.
motion detectors to all of the offices.
Okay.
Including the exercise room, and I believe there's another room
Well,
downstairs.
every
But not
room in
that,
this
not
building.
that, not the municipal, not this room, the multipurpose room, and not downstairs in the gym. Because what would happen is the lights would go out. Because anybody who deals with these motion detectors, or either they'll come in, one person will walk in, the lights would come back on. So we didn't include those two rooms, we only included the ones that had offices with doors.
We've been wanting these lights to be out for a long time now. Our hall renters would like to have more control over their light. But, I mean,
Now, we're not talking about the brightness of the lights.
it doesn't matter because it's just them being on all the time. They're
Okay.
just on all the time.
Are you talking about one light, which is what? Oh, I'm aware of the security lights. So you have security fire lights throughout this building.
Everywhere.
And so I did talk to him about the security lights.
Okay.
That is going to be further, because I talked to both of them
Because
about that.
if we have motion lights, we don't need to have lights on all the time. And right now, we have lights on all the time.
And I
24/7.
explained that to him, and that's part of your fire safety.
So you have to have that.
So.
No, we don't have to have it. If you have motion lights, there's your fire safety, because the light's gonna come on because somebody's moving.
When you walk in the room. So we did address those in the offices. I didn't so much do them in these rooms. We can add them you can always add motion detectors in these rooms. But as a lot of people know, if you walk past this room
It's
and you
gonna
have
be-
motion detectors, the lights are all gonna come on. I have a problem with that at one of my towns. Every time somebody walks past the conference room, the lights come on. They stay on for 15 minutes or 20 minutes until there's no detection.
Right.
Then somebody will walk past this room, the lights will come on. So that's something that we can discuss, whether you want two lights to be on or the lights constantly going on and off.
Okay, well,
So
that's
that's
something we
a-
can
that's
talk
something
about,
that
because we
we
have to
can-
sort of equalize it. I mean, you know, the fact that they're on from like 10 o'clock when we know nobody's here till at least 6 o'clock before somebody comes here, probably will off-weigh the passing of the light. So, well, we can.
Yeah, but
we
that's
can go with-
something that,
Yeah,
you can discuss.
right. So tell us what the numbers are that
biggest
you
thing
have.
that I looked at when I'm looking at these is the overall cost.
Right.
And
Right.
what the difference is. The difference with,
Well, can you give us a number so we can write down what the
okay,
numbers are you're
so
looking at?
the numbers that we should be using, and I will have, matter of fact, I did send it to Kayla.
Okay,
So it might just been too late for her to copy everything.
Probably, yeah.
So the cost is materials and labor.
Well, wait, let's start at the savings. No,
Okay, the savings in a 10-year period would be $93,986. The cost for materials and labor would be $46,584. Trash removal will be $600. Lift, $600. Permits, $250. Less, and of course, there's no sales tax. Less state and local incentives, which would be $15,510, for a total that would be amount due would be $32,524. And net savings to the town over a 10-year period would be $61,461.
All right.
Now, for NRG's, the biggest difference, because I wanted to know what is the difference between the two, is any NRG would come in and replace the entire light fixture itself. And I wanted to know, why would you want to replace the entire light fixture? If you would look on the second and I think second and third pages, or the second and third pages, they'll list the equipment, and under the equipment they have hours. So like the very first one, 1x4 LED recessed Toffer 3300 luminums, that gives you 100,000 hours of usage. If you did just a ballast retrofit or ballast-free retrofit, meaning you would leave the metal part, but you would, the guts and the panel that goes over the lights, you would just replace those, it would be like 20,000 hours, maybe 30,000 hours difference. But as you will see, the cost is going to be a little bit different. So that's the reason why this first one is a bit higher.
Because
Than the second one. And then if you want to go into some more detail, I will be here to answer any questions that you may have. Not unless you want me just to go on with some more of the details.
I just had one question on this one, the one that we were talking about now. What was the turnaround time that they can,
They can come in, they said, in about 2 days in the evening, starting about 5 o'clock, ending about midnight, thereabouts, in say 2 to 3 days.
okay,
Change all the lights.
okay.
Okay, because you do have quite a few lights. in
Right,
this
and I
building.
asked that because, this is our revenue, so just, when they do come in, we probably can't have any hall rentals or anything that's going on at that time. So that's why I asked, how long would it take in a time frame?
I would recommend for you, for Colmar Manor, if you're going to do this in the evening, to do it like on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, when you're maybe not using the hall for hall rentals, and not so much on a weekend. Because I know on the weekends you do use the hall rental, you rent the building out a lot more.
Yeah, we might,
So that's something that you'll.
Do they do Sundays?
I was going to say, we might have to do a Sunday, because
Sunday,
the
Monday,
hall is
Tuesday.
jumping every day,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That is, I asked them if they can work the weekends. They said
Okay.
yes, they can work the weekends.
Okay.
With no premium, with no additional, cost to, okay.
Is when the building, they understand, they've worked with municipalities. They understand that we use our building.
And do they have
Except
to
at
do
night,
3
mostly.
consecutive days, or can they break it up if?
It just depends on, I mean, I don't think you would want to have them come in, stop, have them come in, stop.
The biggest problem is Tuesday and Wednesday, because we do our town meetings on Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays is breeze. So
But you're not using the whole building.
But it's, right, we're not using the whole building, but it's in the middle, because we can cut out the gym. I mean, you can do that, we can just have that closed anytime we want to, whatever, but things that people pay us for.
Right.
So if we did that, but then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we usually have Boys and Girls Clubs or some other kind of a group. The biggest problem is the summertime, is that we have Maryland National Capital Park and Planning,
I doubt
summer
very
programs
seriously
here.
if we would
You're
get the
talking about
approval
November,
back
right?
until fall.
Yeah, you said fall.
It takes
Takes a while.
MEA time to go through and approve these, so I doubt if you would get them in July and August.
Oh, that's what the-
Yeah,
okay.
Probably won't get approval back until September or October.
Okay, all right, okay.
But I think we can work around the time, because you have 3 different floors.
Yes.
So, and, you know, we can work, I think that they can
Right.
be able to work around. And that was the answer from both of them. So is there any other?
Yes, so if you could help me understand T2 Energy's proposal
Okay, let me
a
go
little
through,
bit.
let me go through and go to T2.
Okay,
Okay, so T2 Energy is basically what I had mentioned before. They're going to come in, not replace the whole entire fixture, they're just going to replace the guts. That means
Okay.
they're going to take out in places that they have to, because some of your lights already have non-ballast fixtures. And so they're just basically going to be either changing the light bulbs and upgrading the light bulbs that's in there, and then changing the plastic so that each room is all corresponding. You don't have these kind of lights in one room, these kind of lights in another room. This is the way he explained it to me, and if you have any questions that for him, I need to ask him tomorrow.
Okay.
Because he's going on vacation the next day.
After that.
Or next week. So I wouldn't be able to ask him any of the questions. So they're basically going to change everything to ballast free. And they're not going to change the fixtures per se, except in this hallway right here. And when he was doing the testing, I think it was the second or third one, when he was checking to see what kind of light bulb it was, the whole thing just came down. And he was like, this is crazy that you need to do all of this work to get this light fixture back in here. So he made a recommendation in that hallway right there to change the entire fixtures in that hallway right there. And I believe the one that he shows for that is a more decorative type light fixture, but I'm sure that they have other ones that it's called the 8-inch circular LED kit. And you know, if you didn't like that one, just changing that light fixture out altogether on those 4 that are in this hallway, because of the way that they are made.
and was that a similar comment from the other group, or they just,
I
they
didn't,
didn't have it?
this one on T2, I walked the entire building with him. On NRG, Mike was there,
Okay,
okay? So I'm not sure exactly what they did except in the offices
Okay.
upstairs. Because I was here during that period. I wasn't here, I was here for T2, the entire top to bottom. So for T2, if you look at the first page, the annual savings analysis came up with, and theirs was based on, how many years?
1. They have, is this total annual savings of $5,953.33.
Yeah, I was trying to see if they had put another time like this. The NRG said over a 10-year period. So for 1 year, the annual savings analysis, lighting energy, is $4,494.43 a year. Lamp procedure savings is $171.37, and ballast procurement savings is $348.59. The total cost of the project is $32,096.88, and that's less $13,693 for your rebates, and I'll explain those. Your maintenance savings is $373.43. Your HVAC savings is $565.51. Your total savings is $5,000 $953.33 per year. And after your incentive deductions is $18,403.88. You have HVAC savings because LED lighting throughout your building is more white light, is more cooler. It reduces the cost of your HVAC running because it is a much cooler lighting. Your incentives, and the reason why you get more incentive savings with the NRG is because if you change the entire fixture, you get a higher rebate than if you just change some of your light fixtures. The inside, just take the guts out. Your savings is not quite as much. So here, the payback period in years is 3.09. Your return on your investment is 32.35%. Your internal rate of return is 34.66%. And your net present value is $29,326.11. And your cost of waiting period, and I am going to have to ask them what that is because I'm not sure what that is $496.11. And what, if you go to where the savings analysis is, where you have all of these numbers on one page, and I'm not sure what page that is, probably page 6. And you have from 6, 7, and 8, you have a lot of rows of numbers and types of fixtures. As you can see, your first one is your location of the building. The second one is what your existing fixture is, the description. The third one is what the proposed fixture that they want to put in is. And if you go through the back, they give you pictures and diagrams of each one of the proposed light fixtures that they want to put in. A lot of these, I just found out when I had to do the last report at Fairmont Heights because my person at MEA was asking me all these questions, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not the engineer. I'm not an electric person. But from what I have learned is that your savings analysis for T2 is based on the average, which is 0.11%. That's how they come up with that number. In addition to, I sent them about 4 months of the most recent electric bills that you had. So that's how they came up with the numbers that they came up with, like your annual kilowatt savings.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like. I'm impressed with T2 Energy, how they itemize each room and showed us how we'll be saving in each room, the whole town, how we'll be saving. Like in each room, the bathroom, the lower levels. My question is, I know you said both companies are familiar with municipalities. Can you just give us some names that they may have done, or? No?
I didn't ask them. What I did is I went and I asked other municipalities, who did they use?
Okay, and this where you got the
That's
recommendation.
how I got my companies.
Okay.
I didn't pull them out the phone book. I didn't get them up. I called other municipalities that I knew that had been in this program and asked them to recommend who they would recommend to me, who I should call to come out and do the quotes, the proposals. Like I said, I did 3 of them. One called me and said, He would call me back because he couldn't make it, but I never received a call back. And when I called him, he said, "Oh, I'll call you back," and he never did.
Okay.
I didn't have the time to keep going back and forth.
So we do know that these people are from,
Because if you did that to me just to get a proposal, what would you do for the work? And unfortunately, he came highly recommended. Maybe he's real busy. But all of these companies
Came
had
from-
done work with a municipality.
So I have a question, in relationship to these rebates, are these state rebates, or these are state rebates?
They're Pepco
Oh,
rebates.
Pepco. Okay, they're Pepco rebates.
They're electric companies, or sometimes they are the manufacturer's rebates. And all rebates have to be applied according to the law for MEA or the MEA agreements. All rebates have to be applied before they get a final cost.
Okay, so in going with one of these projects, do we pay the total cost and then we get the rebates back? Or
No.
do we pay the net?
No.
And they get the rebate from the utility company?
No. According to the law, and according to MEA, they have to be applied to the bid,
The net?
the net.
The amount we
and then
pay.
The amount of the rebate. And then
They get the rebate from
they get
whomever?
rebate from Pepco or from the.
We don't have to involve ourselves in the
You-
rebate side
you
of
don't
things.
have
We
to
just pay the
involve-
net amount, and then they responsible for getting
They're
their rebate
responsible. The
stuff.
only thing that the town pays for is that bottom line, and the town doesn't pay for it because unless it's over $25,000, because your grant is up to $25,000. Anything over
Yeah, I thought it was
25,000, 25.
I thought it was 29.
25, I have the agreement that I'll show you. It's up to 25,000.
Uh-huh.
So anything over $25,000, the town has to pay.
Well, we will not go over.
So I have another question.
Yes.
So in the case of T2 Energy, if we were to select that and we're paying $18,403, from your experiences that you might have with MEA, would they allow us to use that for LED lighting other than this building? The balance?
Street lights, no.
No.
No. But I can tell you, and as I mentioned to you before, there is a program that is out there now. I don't know what the new grant is going to look like, but I do know that MEA is talking to Pepco. And I have asked, and I've been asking since November, that when this program came out, that the towns that I work for be considered. I've already sent them a year's worth of utility bills for each one of my towns. I did that back in November. And I'm waiting for a call from, I think her name is Christine Choi. And the MEA and Pepco are working on this program together.
Okay, so would they, is there anything that they might let us use the excess for? Anything?
I would say that, oh yeah, I can pick up the phone and ask that. But Brandon Bake, who is the person that I've been working with for the last year, is leaving effective tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
But I did talk to him yesterday and I talked to him today. That is, if there was something in this building or the perimeters of this building, because as you noticed, I did ask them to give me a cost on replacing your outside lights also. If there was any additional lighting inside or outside of this building, then I would say that we could use it for that. I did want to ask them, could we add more solar panels? But I just thought about that today when I started looking at the numbers. Unfortunately, Brandon didn't answer the phone. Now, I could call Caitlin or one of the other people tomorrow and say, could we use it for solar panels? But the grant says it has to be within the confines of what they have approved and what we asked for.
Right. Okay. I think my last quick question, well, you may or may not know the answer to this depending on what somebody said, but I'm looking at on your savings where they have an HVAC saving. How does lights relate to an HVAC
The
saving?
heat from the lights,
The okay.
heat that the lights produce,
And what does cost of waiting mean? Do you know what that means?
that I didn't know.
Okay.
Take the annual savings of $5,953.33 divided by 12. You get $496.11, which says that if you don't do anything, you're going to pay $496.11 more a month than if you made the change. So if you wait to do it another month, then you're going to incur your same amount of energy you are, but it's equivalent to $496.
So every month that you're waiting, you're losing that much. Okay.
So you're
Got it.
having an accountant.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. Thank you so much.
And let me also just
good
add this little caveat.
Yes.
I have till June 30th to get this report in. I can't even begin to work on the report from questions 3 to finish until you tell me which one you're going to use. Because the information that I put in that report comes from the information that they have provided.
Right. So I'm hoping that we'll have
Have to have it before MML.
Okay.
well, I'm hoping that we can go ahead, let some of this absorb inside the brains, and that we can have a motion at the end of this meeting to go one way or the other.
Oh, just,
I've
I have
got
a
a
question. On T2 Energy, what's the turnaround time that they can also? do
Same
they-
thing.
7 days?
Same situation.
Oh,
I asked
same?
both of
Okay.
them equal questions.
Same. And I don't know, I know you're doing the grant and you're familiar with it. One, thank you for helping us move forward with this. I know former Councilmember Epson in the audience is like saying hooray, because I know when she was on the council, she just kept saying, we need to save money on our lights. We need to, Montgomery County. So I know she's happy about that. Just because you are familiar with this, and when you were the former mayor at your municipality, just what would you recommend? Not saying
I
that
don't
we're going-
recommend.
You can't recommend. Okay.
Not sitting from where I'm sitting at.
Okay,
That's tough.
understood, and
It's a
thank you
hard
for being
decision, but
honest.
it's your decision.
Thank you for being honest. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, depending on what you guys want to do right now, because if there was a motion on the table, we could just move this forward. I think that the $18,000 deal is the one that makes the most sense to me. It sounds like both of these companies are very legitimate. They just have two different philosophies, one being that they want to replace all the ballasts, and the other one is they do it in a non-ballast way, and so it's costing more, but their outcomes seem to be very, very close to the same in terms of what savings we would get. And because our grant is up to $25,000 and not $32,000, it kind of makes sense for us to stick with what makes the most sense to me. If you had any comments, Mr. Pate?
You had said you had gotten the names of these companies from other municipalities. Have they actually had work done by these companies? And if so,
Yes.
what size were their contracts, and how happy were they with them?
I can tell you that the one I am very familiar with is very comparable to the estimates that you got from T2. I have not heard any complaints.
So you've had you've talked to or had experience with T2,
I personally have had experience with T2.
and they did a job at least the size that they're proposing here, or?
Very close, but not as large. There's not a lot of municipal buildings as large as yours.
And then what about NRG? Have
I would
anyone
have
who's
to
used
call the
them?
municipality that I got their name from to ask them what their opinion was and if they've had any problems.
But they actually
But
did work.
I can say
I'm hoping
this,
that
they
if-
recommended
yeah,
them
they
to
recommended
me.
that they didn't have any problems
Because if
before
you had
they
a bad
would.
experience,
Yeah.
like if you had a bad experience with somebody cutting your hair, you wouldn't tell your friend, oh, well, unless you didn't like them.
Yeah. Well, how long ago were each of them done?
Within the last 2 years.
Okay, because I looked up on the state's site, and it says that NRG was formed in Maryland in October of 2018. So seems like relatively new. Maybe they operate under another name. They're also not in good standing in the state of Maryland, which just means that they maybe didn't file their annual
Property tax.
filing. But it does say they're not in good standing. The T2 Energy was formed in February of 2015, and they are in good standing.
And thank you. That's why I was hesitating, because I just wanted to usually do a little search, but looks like our tech guy over there was doing it while we were talking. So, thank you.
Trying to
Thank
crunch.
you.
And then crunching the numbers, I mean, the savings, from what I could tell, they're within about less than $1,000 each by the time you factor in the additional money the town would have to come up with for the NRG proposal. So I think that brings their savings from $61,461 to $53,937. And on the T2, just based on what they presented, if you take the total 10-year savings, subtract the net cost, it's $53,037. So you're less than $1,000 difference in savings between the two. With NRG, you're getting new fixtures. I don't know whether that gives you some, value, because, when will you have to replace the ones that are retrofitted? Is it within that 10 years or not? So other than that, to me, not knowing either of the companies, the savings are about the same. I think it's who you feel the most comfortable with from my standpoint.
And my thoughts is T2. It's in our cost range, in the cost range of what we want to do, and they're both offering the same things, and they also have more history, and they're in good standing.
And they took the time to really itemize each room and showed us that what savings that we're saving in each part of the town. I was very impressed
The only
with that.
question I do have about this one in T2, whether or not the conversation about the motion lighting happened here too. The motion lights,
Well, they have
it's included in
sensors.
here?
The motion
Sensor-
detectors?
Motion sensors.
The motion sensors, they did put the motion sensors in here.
Okay, all right.
Because where Mike may not
Here's the
have
sensors
known
installed.
Oh, okay.
to ask those questions, because
Got
with
it.
them, I was there and I knew
You got
what I
32
wanted.
sensors.
I was able to ask.
Excuse me, sorry.
Okay. And so this fixture, since they're not doing fixtures, they're doing other ones, and the ones that you talked about in the hall here that are problematic, or do you know anything about their awareness to what happened here? I do think that Mike replaced these lights though in the last couple of days. Something happened. He was up here doing something like pretty dramatic with the ladder and everything. So they maybe he fixed it. But anyway, I was wondering, since the other ones were saying they had to change them out, and since they're not doing, T2 is not doing the balances and everything.
You okay? Sorry, I have an
You got-
emergency, I have to go.
Okay.
Just
Good
make
luck.
sure we get a warranty.
All right.
Let's make sure we get a warranty. She says that she runs out.
So I will say that if you look at T2, all of the lights are not necessarily LED lights with a balance. Some of them are just the screw-in lights, like in downstairs in your basketball court. I believe, if I remember correctly, those are just screw-in bulbs.
Okay.
They're not, and if you look here, that some of the rooms, they're not going to touch at all. They're not changing the light bulbs in those rooms. I believe that the office, one of these offices, they're not changing the lights at all. I got to see which one it is,
Why is that?
Why would that be?
because you don't need it.
What does that mean?
That means you have ballast free already.
You mean they're LED
They're,
already?
they're ballast free. There's a
Oh,
difference.
ballast
There's difference
free.
between ballast free and taking out the whole fixture and changing the whole thing to ballast free. Remember when we first started this conversation, the gentleman said, oh, we're just going to come in and we're going to make all the light bulbs ballast free.
Well, sort of, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and so I did some research, and basically ballast free just means you're just changing the light bulbs. But that also means that the ballast is no longer needed to.
The ballast is not a part of the
Light fixture.
conductive lighting.
Right,
It's just a fixture for which it holds it.
right.
But it really is operating.
And you have some of these, and I believe they're in the office, in the front office. I think those are the ones that are already ballast free.
But they're-
I'll have to ask him exactly which ones they are, but some of these are not.
So if they're, if they're already ballast free, does that somehow equate that they're LED, or could they be
Yeah, and you
ballast
may
free?
have, what may be happening is that the LED light bulb that you have in there is not the newest and brightest, because you have some bulbs from downstairs that you've had for a while.
It could also be that the cost of replacing those lights were more expensive with the rebates, and they wouldn't, wouldn't make sense, because I know when we had, another company come in over a year ago, he said there was a certain type of fixture that we have. He said you don't get a rebate for them, and the cost of replacing them was like $400 a piece. He said doesn't make sense to, pay that additional cost. When you don't get the rebate. He said
And you don't get the
return on your
rebate, and this
investment
isn't-
didn't make sense.
Right.
So that could have been it too.
Okay. All right. So, again, I want to thank you, Ms. Goodall, for all of this. It's very, very useful, helpful. Hopefully, we'll take a vote by the end of this meeting so we can move
Okay.
forward, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So if there's no other questions for me, can I leave?
Yes, you may.
Thank you
unless
very
it's,
much.
Anyone have any questions?
Thank you for this.
Okay.
But I will be here in the morning in case you do have a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you
Got it.
need me to ask one of the contractors.
Got it.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so moving on to this next item. I guess might take a minute and wait for Councilmember Blue to come back. And we can just let the record reflect that Councilmember Jackson had to leave approximately 8:40. Okay, so, if you guys were ready, we could actually go ahead and take care of this Energy 2 thing. This LED thing. My recommendation is T2, as far as what Mr. Baton has shared with us in relationship to even the other one not being in good standing at this moment. I think in the price, we can move forward if there's a motion for us to actually accept T2 proposal.
Okay, I'll make that motion as stated. to
Is
accept
there a second?
Energy.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'll second it.
Any discussion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3, absent. Ward 4,
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Okay, thank you so much for moving forward. Thank you. All right, so our last item of new business here is, as we discussed on, at the work session, that we adopt a policy for recycling, whereby we can be authorize a fine when someone is usually putting plastic bags in their recycling bin is a violation. And Mr. Barr has submitted an ordinance for us to introduce. this would, give me 1 second. Okay, so he has offered to put this in out. I asked Mr. Bars last evening if he would add an additional correction. If you look at number B, each private resident in the town shall, for the storage of trash and garbage, maintain a suitable trash container or containers constructed of durable, fire-resistant material with handles suitable for lifting, not to exceed 40 gallons in capacity. So as I was thinking about it, I thought, we're making this one change for the recycling. We need to change this. We need to change this for a really long time. Our trash cans that we provide our residents are 75 gallons. So if we could change this to 75 in this actual ordinance so that we can get that corrected as well.
Well, it does say, except for trash containers distributed by the town or approved trash containers distributed by a town approved trash contractors.
That's interesting. I never really
Yeah,
thought that.
so, I mean, it's saying they could only provide a 40-gallon, but we give them whatever we want. So, I don't know whether you want to,
Well, 40 gallons are really small trash cans.
yeah.
So if somebody wanted to buy their own trash can, I mean, I'd still change it. And that way, if we did do something, we could still do something different, but at least they could go bigger, maybe 60 gallons at least.
So you don't want to go to 75, you want to do 60?
I could do 60.
Well, I mean,
Don't make
if
a
you're fine,
difference.
if average are 75, which I think
It's between whatever they want.
recycling might even be 90, yeah, but
I think our recycling bins are smaller than our trash bins.
one's larger.
Our trash cans are larger. 'Cause
Okay.
we got complaints when people say, we're supposed to be teaching them to recycle, and the recycle bin is smaller than the trash can. So I'm pretty sure theirs is smaller.
And it is.
I don't think they can be any bigger for a household. Because right now, we're in the midst of dealing with this problem with Bates, even with them picking up the trash properly with the list. Because the trash cans are really like too big for them to pick up. And then we got this weird situation happening where they're taking the trash out of the trash can in order to put it inside because the trash cans are too heavy to lift.
Or they're
But we
taking
haven't
half of
resolved
it.
that issue yet, huh?
Taking half of it, the other half of the trash is still left in trash cans, I've noticed
Well, I mean, they're lifting them out, they're lifting it up after they've gotten enough trash out of it. I don't know what the issue is right now, but we gotta deal with the fact that they should be using the lift to lift the trash cans, not their own body weight to lift the trash cans. So whatever that issue is, we gotta deal with it pretty quickly with Bates, but my world is trash right now, so we're gonna get this trash thing down, just like we did with parking. So, 75, well, the thing is that if they're buying their own, well, it does say the handle suitable for lifting. If they got a trash can that's 75 and it doesn't have the capacity for them to lift it with the lift, then we've just made it more difficult for the trash person to pick
Right.
it up. So I think we should go to 60,
60.
because our trash cans were not going to be suitable for the lift. So, but we can,
60 gallons.
60 gallons, okay?
And do we care about the color? If you, under C, he says such containers shall be yellow in color and clearly marked. I mean,
No. Okay, so that's.
Doesn't make no difference
Yeah,
with
no
color?
color.
We'll take that color out,
Yeah, let's take the color out.
just clearly marked.
So take yellow in color and so to say such containers shall be clearly marked as containers for recyclables. Well, then you say it again. Shall be clearly marked as containers for recyclable. All containers for recyclables shall be clearly marked that they are for recyclables.
And we don't need the lid to be permanent, well, I mean, we currently have it one, but they don't have to be permanently
Take
attached.
that whole thing out.
So we need to take out,
Should have a lid. Should have a lid.
take out the whole second sentence. Such containers shall be yellow in color and clearly marked as containers for recyclables, because in the next sentence you say all containers for recyclables shall be clearly marked that they are for recyclables and shall have a lid. So you've,
Okay.
yeah. Let's take out
Take
the
that whole
second sentence.
Second sentence. Recyclables, all containers for recyclables shall be clearly marked that they are for recyclables and shall have a lid. To, and at all times cover the recyclable container. Bags, rubber, or not such. Penalty for violations. Shall be dollars. Okay. Yeah, the darts.
These corrections?
Yep, with the corrections, is there a motion to introduce this ordinance for recycling?
Okay, I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-4-2019.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
As we stated with the corrections.
Yes, with the corrections is made. Mhm.
No.
So, Mr. Bates, so we're introducing this, we're not introducing it as an emergency.
Right.
And then do we schedule a hearing for it, or do we just have to?
I believe you have to have a hearing because it's an ordinance,
Okay,
so be at the July town meeting, I guess.
so we will be having a hearing on this ordinance, which would be a normal July town meeting, which would be 7 o'clock. July the 9th, public hearing. And then you'll put in the ad for the hearing, advertise for the hearing appropriately. Right. Okay, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1? Aye. Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3 is absent. Ward 4?
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. All right, thank you so much.
Public hearing is July 9th, right?
Public hearing July 9th, just before our regular general meeting. Okay, now on to any senior report. I don't think so. We don't have.
Ed's not here.
We're missing Mr. Muchler today, so we'll call and check on him. A garden club report.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Chief, Mr. Bain, our neighbors. The Garden Club will meet Saturday, the West Garden. We will be doing weeding in the West Garden. We'll be there from 10 to 12. I'm asking you to bring your gloves and some tools for weeding. We meet every third Saturday of the month from 10 to 12. If there's inclement weather, we will meet at the town hall no matter what. Other than that, I will assign the West or East Garden that we will be meeting. I think that's about it on my report. Oh, on 40th Place in Newark, Councilmember Blue, myself, and Julianne Bethay, we planted roses in something else they call it. That we planted there.
Spider plants.
What is it?
Like spider plants.
Spider plants, yeah. And Julianne and I myself donated that to the town on behalf of the Garden Club. So I want to thank the Mayor and Council for your help and your assistance and everything. And I have a question. So you were saying that on July the 4th, we could be able to go up on the hill? Because you know, after a certain time, the park police kicks us out.
No, we have a permit.
You have to permit, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just checking to be
Yes,
sure.
Yes, we have a
Okay.
permit to do this.
All right, and that's about it on my garden report. Any questions?
Well, I just want to thank you for the triangle, and, the triangle was an opportunity because of the CDBG money that we got to help update some of our roads, and so in doing so, we're able to make that available, which actually makes your action the very first Green Street action that we've taken on our proposed Green Street. So,
Okay.
sometimes you just do a little piece at a time, and that planting is a little piece. So thank you so much for going
it's
and doing
beautiful.
that. But yes,
Okay.
it's beautiful.
All right.
And I can see it's going to grow up really nice too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Yes, thank you. It looks beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right.
Okay. Thanks. So the next item is the green teams. Anybody have any report? I will report that in our last meeting, we went through our sustainable points for our sustainable certification as a town, to work through what are the new things and better things that we have going on, and we are still building on that, and so we are growing from a sustainability perspective. I encourage anybody who wants to come in. I think what the meetings are, is it on the third Monday?
Yes.
I think it's the third Monday. But call up the town hall if you're interested in getting on the green team. We really, really appreciate it. I will mention, if any of you know it, but 18 mosquito forms that went in this year said that all of those 18 people were members of the green team. So if you're out there and your form is in there, if you're a member of the green team, I would really appreciate if you would come to a meeting, because we don't have 18 participants of the green team. And I know of the ones from our green team who put in their exemptions last year, which was about 3 of them who are real green team members. I would just like to say, if you're talking from a mosquito perspective, don't put it on the green team if you're not really coming to the green team meetings. So please come to the green team meetings if you submitted one of these forms this year. And I'll go into the next item, which is the recreation report.
Wait, but there is a green team meet, and it's our joint meeting. with,
On the 18th of
On the 18th, Tuesday, the
July.
18th, Cottage City.
June?
June.
June, 18th
So
of
next-
June. Okay, we're having a group meeting on the 18th of June. Thank you so much, Councilmember Mendoza. So we're meeting in June, so if you're on the green team, please come on out to the meeting. Recreation report.
On Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:15, we have Zumba here. And on Saturdays at 9:30, martial arts on Thursdays at 7 p.m. and boot camp on Wednesday. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Bowden. And the rec council meets on the first, it's the first Monday of the month? Okay, on the first Monday of the month. We've got a couple of really good people on it now, with Reese, working on it. I appreciate it, and Ronnie. If we could get more people involved in the rec council, if you're interested, just call the town hall, and somebody will get you in contact with her, so that you can be on board, or just come to the meeting on the first Monday of the month. And of course, you can contact our recreation coordinator here, Renee Watts, as well, if you have some activities or you're interested in doing. The next item, PGCMA, Councilmember Mendoza.
So we just had our meeting a couple weeks ago in District Heights. It was a nice one. We had a pinning ceremony. So a lot of council members and mayors were pinned for volunteering for MML. And on that note, now it's the big breakfast that's going to be happening in Ocean City. So early,
It's
very
always
early.
in the same years. It hadn't changed. Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any citizen comments?
Yes.
State your name and the street that you live on.
Good evening, council members, mayor,
Good
and
evening.
all representatives.
Evening.
I'm here to get
Oh,
some...
your name and
Oh,
street
I'm
you live
sorry.
on.
My name is Melvin Watts. I live at 4207 Lawrence Street. Been living here for approximately 20 years. All right. My questions involving the mosquitoes and how it's going to be addressed. I have a number of questions. I can give it to you all at once or just one at a time. How would it be more convenient for?
Okay, let's see which way I want to go. One at a time.
Okay. It's going to be who, what, where, and how. And other things I have to add. Okay, my first question is, when was it decided that we're not going to spray for mosquitoes? Town was not going to spray for mosquitoes.
So the town has signed up with the program, as we always have, for the spraying of mosquitoes, so we are on the list. It's a project, it's a program through the state, but the county administers it, and we signed up for it.
Okay. So you are going to spray for mosquitoes? Is that what I'm hearing?
The town will be sprayed for mosquitoes in any area that has not been exempted by the state at this point in time. That current map that we've seen most recently exempts the entire town except for the town building.
I'm still not sure what
Well, we're gonna get to
what
you.
you are
Go to
saying.
your question.
There's a map designating which areas are going to be sprayed and which ones are not going to be sprayed?
Yes.
That's already been disseminated?
It's not, we start out with just telling everybody that we're going to spray. Our spray is supposed to start on June 21st, which we've been told, and our day is Tuesdays. And they would spray after dusk, and then we disseminated all that information. So this is what happens. So you have the whole town, right? Through some legislation in the state of Maryland, the legislation allows for a person in a house to say, I want to be exempt. I do not want them to spray my house. So then what that legislation says is that if this person says they don't want to spray their house, then for 300 feet around that house, 300 feet around that house, they will not spray. 300 feet, most of our lots are 20 to 30 foot lots. So with 300 feet, if one person says, I want to be exempt, that means the person across the street from them won't get sprayed, and probably 2 houses on the side of them won't get sprayed, and then the house behind them won't get sprayed. So one person exempting themselves probably takes 6 houses out of the opportunity to be sprayed. So they build this map. This person, they mark the person who's exempt, and then they go around 300 feet like this, and they exempt all of those houses in the map. So it says a no spray area on the map. So last year, I sent a request to the Secretary, which secretary is it? Of Environment? The Secretary of Environment, asking them to reduce the 300-foot radius to 75 feet. So we reduced it down to 75 feet, and based on that, we were able to get maybe half the town sprayed last year. So the eager person, which I don't think is secret in his mind, is Jason Kern, very eagerly has gone from strategically door to door to door to door around the town, so that even the 75-foot area winds up exempting 95% of the town. The only solution is that those people who have signed this paper to say they want to be exempted would rescind their exemption. The other option is that me as the mayor, I can make a request to ask for the exemptions to be exempted, meaning they don't count at all. I would do that if I had a plurality of people behind me, residents, petition, or something like that, where I've got a really good number of people saying that this is really, really bad, and I can sign on to this and send this to the secretary again, and saying, look, I know that we got these 38 houses that are now exempt in the town, but now I've got 150 signatures that says we don't want it. They say they don't want it exempted. And I think the secretary would probably approve that with that kind of backing behind me. I don't feel like while they have these 38 requests for exemptions, that I could be successful without that kind of backing.
Okay, question on that note, when will that be initiated, this second petition? Are these persons who petitioned against getting sprayed, they personally made a call to the state, or
There's a form that the state has that when we inform you, like if you look at the email that we sent out to everybody, you're going to see a link to that form in our email, because we are required to tell people they can be exempted.
Understandable. So in reference to this, how to address this problem, you would have to have another petition with names on it, addresses, so forth, etc., identifying yourself to override that particular petition to have it not being sprayed.
Yes. If I can get enough residents to rally up, and it's coming from the residents, it's not like me making a decision for anybody. It's like I got all these residents that signed this thing and said that they want mosquitoes. I can send that off to the state and say, I know you got these other 38, 40 things, but I got this 100 or 200 who say they do want it. So to shut the whole thing down.
Okay, because, well, enough said.
Okay.
I don't like it, but
So you're gonna help us get this petition?
absolutely.
All right,
Because it's not right. It's just not right.
Well,
Okay.
Mr. Mel, if you get that petition going, I have a lot of people who will sign it.
I'm gonna get it going. I have to go door to door if necessary. 'Cause
Okay.
how much time do I have?
Well, I mean, the sooner the better. I mean, our spray starts the 21st, but they're coming every week. And they're still gonna come because they still have to spray the park and they still have to spray our building. So, because we're not exempt. It's hard to exempt us because the church is there and there's only the one house here, so it's really hard to exempt this space right here. I thought it was hard to exempt my block, but somehow or another it happened. But-
Did you say, excuse me, I'm gonna interrupt you. You were talking, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, just go ahead.
You said they are going to spread which park?
Just
what-
up here.
I believe I think the Newton Street Park is still gonna get sprayed.
The Newton Street Park?
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
the
that's
park
it.
down here.
Okay.
yeah.
And the other parks are not gonna be sprayed, even though you got other activities scheduled for the summer to be in the park, and it's not gonna be sprayed.
The parks are not the parks have been marked off the list. And the only reason Newton Street is really on is because here at Lawrence, it's across from the church, and so there's not enough here. It might only get sprayed from the back side too, because if he got Newton Street down there by the garden, then we're only at half this park, only half of this park.
You know, that's all right. I'm not even gonna
Thank you.
begin this petition. I'll just get Two Green or whoever else to spray my yard and just go about my business.
Oh no, I like the petition thing better. I really do. We could get,
Lot of work.
huh?
Lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but if we can, I can just, if somebody, we can get some petition going. You said that you know some people who are really interested in signing a petition. Maybe they'll help move the petition. You know, to have someone who's really going around and going around and actually getting it. Because I would really like to know what the majority of people want, and I want to do what the majority of people want to do. That's what I want, but I need that majority backing
A quick
us.
survey,
Huh?
a quick survey
A survey to, what do you mean, like
to
a?
everyone in town.
We could do a survey, again, we did a survey before.
Do another one.
Yeah. All right, well, you work something, I'll try to work something, right? Whatever we can do to come together, but if I get enough people saying yes,
So you all gonna initiate a survey?
we'll initiate a survey one way or another. Electronic
Get the
survey.
petition before,
Huh?
unless we can get the petition before.
Yeah, the petition is actually stronger
Yeah.
than just a survey, because a survey, I mean, unless some people are really, the bottom line is people have to be willing to put their name and their address on whatever it is that's signed, whether it's a survey or not. But a petition, I just think is, I don't know, easier to make sure it's collected. Because somebody walks up to somebody and says, will you sign this? So you're much more likely to get it signed than sending somebody a survey in the mail, and then they just ignore it and they don't see it at all. So the survey is the strongest way to go. But- All right, thank you so much. Is there anything else that we need to do for the good of the order?
No.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Sure, I made that motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I got things to sign, so
Where'd
you'll sign.
that card go? Oh, the card's done.
Oh,
Cynthia?